Welcome, everyone, to the Knockout Episode 9 podcast and YouTube show. This has been one that was a little bit delayed because I just had a hard time scheduling this one because one of my guests here just couldn't find the time, and I understand. So we have a substitute to argue for Juggernaut against Shazam. So I definitely look forward to this one a lot. You got the unstoppable Juggernaut and the Shazam, which is like the human Duracell bunny, just keeps on going and going. Or Energizer, not Duracell. My bad. All right. Well, before I make too much more of a fool of myself, let's bring in the guests so I'm not alone as I do it. Please welcome Tony, arguing for Shazam. Welcome, Tony. How's it going?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me on.
Thank you very much. I look forward to Shazam. I don't know too much about him other than, The Rock is playing Black Adam and the movie. So I look forward to learning a few new things about Shazam. And please welcome Southern Comic Geek, the substitute for Legion, arguing for the Juggernaut.
And that exactly, folks, is why you should vote for me.
I appreciate the censor because I don't want YouTube breathing down my neck. So let's get switched around. So, as usual, guys, we know Southern here knows the rule, but Tony's catched on the rewind a few times. We have one official challenge. If one of the contestants has an argument or a piece of evidence or whatever that he says is not fair, I challenge it. The other guy has, the chance to rebuttal and, a little rebuttal, and I will decide who has the right call, and that argument moves forward and stuff like that. So you one official challenge, so use it well. I'm not as generous as Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, where you get a couple of them. So
I thought you got 2 challenges per half, unless you're within 2 minutes. Then all reviews come from the booth.
That's football, and I'm not that nice either.
Got to get the hood and everything.
Yeah. There is no instant replay. That's me, myself, and I, and we all agree. So,
all right.
So, welcome to the Comic Collector. Thank you for stopping by. And Shop, good to see you. Always good to have you guys in there. So, any questions before we get the show started? All right, so
I'm good.
So we decided ahead of time as my per usual rule of first come first serve. So Tony here will open the discussion for why Shazam will beat Juggernaut in this fight.
Yes, I have elected to kick to start off this half. Big football fan, by the way, so a lot of football talk. So let's talk Shazam, shall we? I want to open up my argument first. Mentioning Superman. Superman, all know and love him. The guy who's faster than a speeding bullet, can leap a tall building in a single bound. And a lot of people don't know this about Superman, but he is extremely vulnerable to not only kryptonite, but to magic. And that is the basis of Shazam's powers. And a lot of people don't necessarily know that, but magic, spells, hocus pocus, all that good stuff. So he can do everything Superman can, plus he's magic. So that's cool, in my opinion. And if you remember in a little show, Justice League Unlimited, Season 2, episode, I believe it's 7 or 8, when Superman and Shazam collide, Shazam gets the better of him. Shazam beats Superman, so to speak. And it's happened before. Also, if you remember the animated movie, Superman, Shazam versus Black Adam, Black Adam being the arch nemesis of Shazam, for those of you who are unaware. When Black Adam and Superman fight, Superman gets his bell rung many times, and he goes down for the count. So there's a lot of times Superman went down, and Shazam had to pick up the mantle. In fact, the most of the Future's End run, which was mid New 52. Anyway, Future's End in DC, Superman was missing, And to keep the appearance of the Big Blue Boy Scout, Shazam actually took up the mantle of Superman because he can do everything Superman can do. He just had to withdraw of using his magic, so to speak. But yeah. How long do I have? I don't want to go over time and talk for a long time.
If you basically summed up your general discussion, we'll go ahead and flip it over to Southern because we don't want to go into the general discussion in opening statements.
Oh, sure. Yep, that's my opening statement. He's as powerful as Superman plus more.
All right. Southern, take her away.
Well, my first question I put into the chat was, is he fighting Superman or is he fighting the Juggernaut? Tonight, we're arguing that he fights the Juggernaut. And because you should vote for him. The Juggernaut is an unstoppable force. I think anybody, regardless of whether they're a Marvel or a DC fan, understand that. And mic drop. He's an unstoppable force. I'll go into some of my arguments a little bit later, but he's an unstoppable force. I want people to clear their minds of voting for the hero who, by the way, used to be called Captain Marvel, but now he's Shazam. Reminds me of the Gomer Pyle. Reminds me of the Gomer Pyle deal, you know. So let's talk Juggernaut. Let's talk Juggernaut winning. Don't just vote for the hero because he's a hero. Let's vote for the real winner if these two were to go head to head, and that would be Juggernaut.
Awesome. Well, I definitely look forward to this. All right, I will get the ball rolling for you guys. Like I said, I tried to make a joke at the beginning, and it was like unstoppable force versus like the Energizer Bunny. You know, these are two powerful forces. But you mentioned earlier, I mentioned one of Superman's weaknesses was magic. How tough is the Juggernaut exactly? And is he vulnerable to the same thing? Because magic does, unlike other things like fists and, other little tactics that people have, magic really has less rules associated with it. It could do more damage.
Sure, makes sense. No, so similar to what Shazam is, Juggernaut is powered by a magical being, Sidorak. You have the gem that first gave him his power way back when in the Korean War. So that
I did not know that. That's pretty interesting. I don't do a whole lot of Marvel, but that's pretty cool.
So him and Professor X were fighting in the Korean War, and that's where they found the gem. So he's powered by a magical being. Now they've kind of fleshed out over time that he's actually a god. It's not just it's the god inside the gem type deal, but nevertheless, he's susceptible to telepathic attack, but that is only if his helmet is off. So, that's his main weakness.
Is that? I'm going to ask a clarifying question if I can. You said he's immune to telepathic attacks or abilities with his helmet on.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Similar to like Magneto?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Yep.
Very cool.
So, Tony, what is Shazam's strategy? He came across the Juggernaut because I imagine he'd be a pretty hard character to miss, and a reputation to, match him. I'm assuming he would know in advance what this guy is capable of. What is Shazam going to do to level the playing field?
Yeah, I think one thing that he'll be able to do, if he can, two possible ways he could do it. The first being if he's aware of who the Juggernaut is and abilities, easiest thing he would do would be to touch the Juggernaut and say Shazam, thus, because it'll knock Superman cold out just by saying one word. Or what he could do, and he's done this in the past with people he can't beat or doesn't know how to beat, he can say the word again and put them inside of the Rock of Eternity, inside of another realm, so to speak, thus removing him from danger.
Okay. Southern, what do you think?
So if you're fighting a do-gooder like Shazam, he's going to worry about all the people that are around him, all of the children, and that therefore is his weakness. Whereas Juggernaut has no qualms with picking up the little kid and holding them up. So Juggernaut's stance, first and foremost, is going to be grab the most innocent bystander out there and say, all you got to you say your name, otherwise I'm crushing their skull.
Nice.
Billy's going to acquiesce because he doesn't want to see nobody get hurt or killed. So
yeah, and that not to argue for either defense for, but that does bring a very good point, because Billy technically is a kid himself. He's not thinking so much like an adult. He is more innocent in that regard of, I can't let this happen, even more so than a regular hero. I mean, how is Tony? How is he going to overcome that particular soft weakness? Because this is hero versus villain.
A great point. I'm glad you brought that up, because remember that Shazam is an acronym where his powers come from. So he has the wisdom of Solomon, which grants him superior intellect, and he has the speed of Mercury. For those of you who are familiar with the Flash in the DC universe, he can run faster than the speed of light. I forget what issue it is. New 52 Justice League issue something, I can't remember, but the Flash is running, faster than the speed of light, and he turns and looks, and he's being chased down by two people, Superman and Shazam. So he's able to keep pace with the fastest man alive. So combined with his ability to enhance his own intelligence and run as fast as the speed of light, I'm sure there's something he could do.
Cool. So are you saying that because of his speed, before Juggernaut could flinch his fingers, he's already got the kid to safety?
It's highly possible. I don't know, but one thing that you brought up is, he's a child at heart. So sometimes, he's easily gullible, and that's happened to him before. You can trick a child because he's only a teenager. So who knows? Who knows what would happen? But the ability is there. Whether or not he would know how to use that is a different story.
Right.
Ooh. Okay. Well, besides the Shazam lightning bolt that's gonna supposedly quote unquote knock out the Juggernaut, is there any other way to slow him down? I mean, one of the best Spider-Man stories of all time is Nothing Can Stop the Juggernaut, and the only thing that could slow him down was literally trapping him in a big old tub of wet cement where he sunk to the bottom, and he just was basically stuck for a while. It slowed him down so much. So, I mean, there literally is. It means hitting him and punching him is one thing, but then you have to literally hold him in place.
Yes, couldn't since Shazam can throw things into space, he'd probably just chuck Juggernaut into space, rendering him. There's no friction. There's no way for him to generate momentum. So I don't know anything about the Juggernaut, but I think that he would need some kind of momentum to build that momentum to be unstoppable. Just a guess.
Cool. All right, Southern, what's Juggernaut's strategy other than running straight at him?
Well, like I said, finding innocent bystanders, finding ways to kind of hit below the belt, the proverbial belt. Anytime you're in a bar fight, not that I've ever been in a bar fight, but I've heard that there is no such thing as a fair fight. It's everything's on the table, and that's the way the Juggernaut plays, especially if he were to know that Shazam, hey, this is a powerful being. It's kind of neck and neck, or even in some cases more powerful than me. I can't play fair, So this is the way I'm going to roll.
Yeah, I always like to joke that I don't know karate, but I know kick your ass. So you never.
Well, I know karate and like 3 other Japanese words, but it doesn't help me all the time. So.
Saki. I know Saki.
Yeah,
Sushi.
Yeah.
that's that's boxing, Saki. No. So, all right. Just Tony, you asked a question earlier for issues and all that. Do you have comics to show for evidence, or do you have anything you want to
Exhibit A.
exhibit A? Give me that exhibit A, and we can describe it to the people who will happen to be listening on the podcast, which I know at least one person who's listened to all of the episodes. So, so what's your exhibit A for Shazam?
For Shazam. Yeah, let me put that up.
So,
So for Exhibit A, let me find my screen here. It's one of these. Where is it? Right here. So here we have Shazam was called the Big Red Cheese back. I don't know why. Superman was called the Big Blue Boy Scout, which made way more sense. But anyway, so here it is, the classic battle between Shazam and Superman. And the only reason technically Shazam lost is because he stopped. So he had Superman dead to rights. He's on the ground. It's one of the few times that Superman has bled. In fact, Superman has said that if he had to fight the Justice League, there's only few people he did not care to fight. Martian Manhunter being one of them, and any magic user, including Shazam, for obvious reasons.
nice.
And I say, hey, if he can stop Superman, what's Juggernaut? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's my Exhibit A.
Awesome. Well, that's definitely true. So, Southern, what gave Juggernaut his power was some crystal. So it was like magic, so it's magic itself, because he's not a natural born mutant. It's this gem that gave him his powers. Correct.
Correct. And then later on, they fleshed it out that it was the god Sidorak inside the gem. But yeah, so it's magical in nature.
Yeah,
Is that still continuity? Just out of curiosity, I have no idea.
Yeah. So if you in the 90s, right around the Infinity Gauntlet era, there is the first appearance of Sidorak. It's in a Doctor Strange comic, so that kind of lends itself to that it's a magic type deal.
Yeah.
Still.
In all the stories you've read, because I know at one time did you have a complete run of X-Men, or?
Yeah.
Did all the stories you knew of X-Men and all that, was there ever a thing about Juggernaut being weaker against magic, since he's magic based and all that? Would he be weak against magic too?
No, Tony hit on it a while ago. The biggest thing is the old cliche is the bigger you are, the harder you fall.
Mm-hmm.
So to get that momentum. Now, if he gets you in your grasp, that's why when Spider-Man fought him, he was all over the place, right? Because he knew he grabbed him, he was a goner. But because you weren't going to get out of that grasp. But outside of that, magic's not really been his thing. He's gone up against the Hulk a few times. Obviously, the Hulk is one of the stronger beings inside the Marvel universe. But telepathy is his big deal. Again, he's immune to it as long as his helmet's on. So it's getting his helmet off becomes the deal. So.
Yeah. Very interesting.
That's okay. Shazam's not a telepath anyway, so no need to fear.
Yeah. So I figure with them, outside of the hitting below the belt thing that I mentioned earlier, in fighting and grabbing some innocent bystander and threatening to hurt them / kill them, unless he was to depower. Outside of that, it's going to be a total fist match, right? Mm-hmm. And Tony mentioned earlier too, and it goes along with that same line of thinking, that if they're fighting, they're slinging each other into buildings. They're all over the place. It's a total throwdown deal. And a lot of people can get hurt, which Shazam would then say, okay, do I really need to fight this guy and take the risk of these people getting hurt again? So definitely want to fight. Juggernaut wants to fight in a crowded area with a lot of innocent bystanders. That would
definitely be on Juggernaut's side and all that. I imagine Shazam would try and get him into a less populated area, just like Superman and all that.
Right.
How much, if say Shazam managed to somehow knock him into the Atlantic Ocean, how much would Juggernaut being in water slow him down if they took the fight to Aquaman's level?
Yeah, so it's not a breathing thing, so he doesn't have to worry about that. Again, as long as his helmet's on. But if he's going in there, it's going to be slow motion, kind of like AOL dial-up.
Yes, true. Okay. Do either one of you have any particular points you want to add? Anything you want to talk about? All that. Otherwise we can start summing things up. So I'm bringing up points as I think about them, but
Yeah,
I'm out of ideas.
sure. Keep in mind that Shazam can knock the Juggernaut, or any foe for that matter, into another realm with ease.
Really?
And I have a screen share if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
As soon as I find it right here. Yep, there it is. So this is the map of the DC multiverse. And if you notice, right here in the middle, you have the Rock of Eternity, where not only all magic is based from, but if you've seen the Shazam movie, that's where Shazam's powers come from. So he can go here, amongst all these verses, and he can travel within these multiverses. I don't know.
Potato.
Yeah, right. And he can take adversaries not only to these different Earths, but within the monitor sphere, or within the sphere of the gods up here. He could just float around endlessly into space. Even amongst even the source wall, or just chuck him into Apocalypse and let Darkseid deal with him.
How easy can he knock someone or put someone in another dimension? And then Southern, a question to follow for you is what's Juggernaut's defense against it? Whatever Tony says. So
he just has to concentrate on visualizing the Rock of Eternity, hold on to whatever he wants to transport, and just say the magic word.
Okay.
So is he transported with them?
Yes.
Okay, so when you say the Rock of Eternity, and thinking about the Shazam deal, with all the thrones and all that kind of stuff in there, so you're not talking about literally being transported into a rock where he.
Yeah, it's called the Rock of Eternity. It's not an actual you're inside of piece of granite or something.
So if he transferred him, if he teleported him there and he's there too, essentially it's okay. I'm going to fight here as opposed to fighting there, right?
Yeah. Yes, you're correct. But unless he goes into the sphere of the gods, which he can also get to really quick, this is just open space between realms. So he would just transport you there, and then just kind of push off because he fights in space too, and then just go back to his world and just leave Juggernaut floating in endless space. For those of you who are familiar with Shazam stories, when they banished Black Adam, millions of years ago into space. This is where he ended up, inside the sphere of the gods, and it took him 28 million years to come back, or something outrageous.
Awesome. Well, for those of you out there who will be voting and all that, this is definitely a, what they call it, battlefield removal. So it's definitely an option for how to deal with an unstoppable force.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, so in thinking about that, and you mentioned this earlier, that because he does still think like a kid, it would just be the part of concentration. So his biggest deal would be trying to remain concentrating while innocent people could be being hurt, while he's getting pounded by a giant fist. Wow, that didn't sound right. That did not sound right. Okay, so
or Juggernaut, all he would have to do is catch him when he's a kid and not in Shazam form. I mean, when he's a kid, he's just a kid.
Right.
He has no magic abilities. He's just a kid.
True. Well, Juggernaut's not the sharpest tool in the shed, so I don't think he's going to realize that Billy's Shazam.
I do know Juggernaut has one weakness because I saw a Deadpool 2. So that seems like it's possible.
So going back to the
Please
mark,
explain real quick to me. I haven't seen the movie.
Okay.
So what's the weakness?
Colossus shoving the power cord. Is that what you're talking about?
Yep.
Okay.
The hindquarters.
So what Billy could do is he could stick his hand up there and say Shazam.
The visual on that.
Wow.
And then Juggernaut, like a bottle rocket, goes shooting off. Okay.
I could just imagine him figuring that out. Like, this is a possibility. I could end this fight. There's got to be a better way.
I don't think Shazam wants to win at that point.
No.
The lifetime of therapy.
Right. Exactly.
All right. So that was definitely a fun point to add. So, all right. Anything else that either you want to talk about real quick?
That's it for me. I think we hit
No,
the big.
we'll do our closing arguments.
Yeah.
All right. We'll go and move to closing arguments, which means, Tony, you're once again up to bat.
Yeah, closing arguments. Just keep in mind that magic in the DC universe is kind of it's unknown a lot. Every time they reboot the DC universe, magic plays more and more of a bigger role, and that's where his powers are coming from in magic. So, who knows what he's actually capable of? Because he's finding stuff out all the time. And he can actually see magic. So there's like a piece of enchanted equipment. He could see that only in his Shazam form. When he's in a kid form, he's just a kid. He has no special abilities except skipping school. If you've seen the Shazam movie, so that's pretty impressive.
Nice.
Yeah, he can go toe to toe with Superman, and that's a big deal. That's a big deal. Going toe to toe with Superman is a great big deal. So if he can take on Superman and win, which he has, so he has the strength of Hercules, the speed of Mercury, the wisdom of Solomon, and a bunch of others. Zeus. I forget what the one for Zeus is, but he has all the powers of all the old gods.
Nice.
So that's pretty cool. So that's my closing argument.
Yeah.
What is up, Rob? Worst.
You made it just in time for closing argument. So
he's the worst.
Worst timing, yes. All right, Southern, your closing statement.
Well, I will again bring out to anybody that's watching this, whether live or on the rewind, or listening on the podcast, that Tony keeps bringing up Shazam and Superman. However, Superman is susceptible to magic. Juggernaut's not so much. So I would just say that, and getting a hold of the right area, fighting on his terms, no holds barred. He's going to do what he's got to do to win. If that means other people get harmed in the way, that's fine. Shazam or Billy is not going to be willing to do that. And that's what I got to say. Alex Big Blue, hello.
Alex.
All right. So thank you guys for your very good debate. This is I felt this was a very thorough and good debate. So the link is in the description for everyone who hasn't voted. And so go there. We'll give a few minutes for you guys to go and vote. Southern, give you a few minutes to wrangle up some supporters for you.
I got to do a better job. Tony's a good Democrat. He's already visited all the cemeteries and everything. So
well, you got 6 kids, right? You got 6 kids. Just have them turn off the Wi-Fi so they're connected only by their data. And
right.
So there you go.
That's another way to put it. You're right. Hey, if you're not voting 3 times, do you really care?
Yeah, vote early and vote often.
Yeah. So that's a lot of fun. So again, thank you, Southern, for being the substitute. If Shazam or if Juggernaut happens to pull through and win, Legion will get to argue in the second round. And again, Shazam, if you move forward, you get to go to the second round and all that. I'm not sure where exactly this falls under as far as the playoff round I ended up doing. Let's see. Whoever wins this matchup will face either Wonder Woman or Storm. So,
perfect.
so
Perfect. No
I
problem at all.
I look forward to the next matchup because I look forward to a good old cat fight. So I want to see claws, ladies, in this next round. You know, if I don't see some blood, I'll be disappointed. So
it's okay if Shazam moves on and fights Wonder Woman because he has and won before.
Awesome. So give a few more seconds here to cast your votes. You know, both you guys are free to vote for yourself. Obviously, I don't have a rule against that. You know, although maybe I should make it a rule not to, since some of the guests don't seem to take advantage of it and end up losing by one.
Right?
Like, you know, you could have literally tied, thrown it to me, and had a chance to win, but because you didn't vote, you lost.
Very cool.
So it's like, all right, we'll go and get the screen set up, so we're all set to go. There it is. So I look forward to this an awful lot. So, although this was surprisingly hard for another one, it was hard for a thumbnail. There's certain characters it's just hard to find good thumbnail pictures. Shazam and Juggernaut were two of them. And it's like I thought there'd be so much more abundance, but I was either getting the real guy or I just couldn't get quite the right look. You know, it's like, ugh. So, all right, about 10 more seconds. Oh yeah, cat fight. Yep. So all right, 10. So all right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and the results are. Don't know why that popped up. Shazam with 12 votes, Juggernaut with 6. So you know, Southern managed to get some people out there to support him, or the people in the chat here felt that Juggernaut had the better argument because I did peek once at the result in Shazam. I don't think Shazam picked up more than like 1 or 2, so it seemed like people tended to vote on Juggernaut in the live chat.
Yeah, it's that early voting. You just can't trust it.
You can't. You know, I submitted all of my ballots, you know, right away.
That's why I give you guys both the link ahead of time, so that way you have, you know, a couple of days to get your votes. So I'd like to see a big old result and all that. So not just open it up the night of. So congratulations. What?
Yeah. Well, what's funny about that is because when I did Sinestro and Tim was doing Hal Jordan, I went in all these chats and I'm like, hey guys, vote Sinestro. Don't ask any questions. Just vote Sinestro. And I would go back and refresh the deal, and I'm watching votes go to Hal Jordan. I'm like, what the mess, man? Come on. I mean, I got Tim's votes for him. So I was worried this time that I was going to have that same problem. So I got to take a different approach to it.
Yes. Well, congratulations on the argument you did. Thank you again for being the substitute. I deeply appreciate it, Southern. You seem to you're struggling a little bit in this season. You're pulling me. You seem like you can't catch a break.
Can't catch a break. Can't catch a break. Like Rodney Dangerfield. No respect at all.
Tony, congratulations on your win. You again, like I said, move forward to face either Wonder Woman or Storm. But I would not take, if it's Wonder Woman, I would not take the fact that the comic books, you know, debate it just because, you know, you never know. You never know. People might vote for Wonder Woman just because she's prettier. Who knows? So, you know, so
that's okay. You could put in Mary Marvel and be the same thing.
Yeah, true. So
well, Mary's going to take Shazam's place. So
yes, she is taking over Shazam. So we'll see if that story's any good. I hope it is. I really do.
Awesome.
So earlier I dropped Tony's YouTube channel because he's dangerously close to 500 subs.
Yeah, I'm 10 away.
So 9 now.
9.
Yeah, you're 9 now. So, but yeah, so I dropped that. If you haven't already subbed Tony up, then certainly feel free to go sub him up.
Sub each other up. Sub each other up in the chat. Sub the whole panel up. Support for everybody. A lot of good content.
I did not know where your YouTube was. What one was, Tony? I don't think I ever found it or knew it. So I didn't put YouTube, or maybe I did, but I put either.
You're subscribed to me.
I'm pretty sure. I can't remember. I think I put your Instagram.
That's
Instagram
okay.
in the description. So
I
I don't think
appreciate
you can look through my friends for people. I tend to do the search bar. So
Yeah.
but yeah,
His
sub
Instagram is in there.
yeah, sub both of these guys up. Sub me up too. I deeply appreciate it. I'm at 606 subscribers. I've decided that I'm not going to do a 700 one, or if I do, I'll do a small one. My next big contest I'm going to try and do is for 750. It just seemed like a bigger milestone than 700. So that's what we'll do there. So looking forward to that. To Ed C, I believe you got one more day to claim your first place prize before the deadline passes and the two prizes shift down a notch. So I'm already in contact with the two guys, the second and third guy. So you have one more day till Saturday morning when I get up to claim your prize, or you lose your 600 subscriber contest win. So
What was the prize, by the way?
I was a couple of pops, Spider-Man, Rogue, Transformers, and G.I. Joe, and this Batman slab here.
All right, I'll take it.
Oh yeah.
You just send that right over.
No. So, like I said, I'm in contact with both guys, easy to reach. So yeah. But yep. So that's the prizes there. So anyway, good luck to the people who are the third place in line. So all right. Thank you guys for joining me. I do appreciate it. Like I said, I'm thanking both my guests here for showing up. Stay tuned real soon for episode 10 of the Knockout for season 3. This Power of the Gods. Again, Wonder Woman versus Storm. I love the fact that it was these two put together because I love the idea of a cat fight.
Who's arguing on their behalf?
Let's see. For Wonder Woman, I have listed down here. Bearded Comic Bro is Wonder Woman. And Storm is argued by Lady Fantastic. So that's going to be a fun.
Ooh, yeah, that'll be a nice one.
Lady Fantastic always brings her claws to the
I'm
debate.
surprised he didn't get Magic Lasso to argue for Wonder Woman. That guy's obsessed with Wonder Woman.
Yeah. I reached out to people, for Wonder Woman, or Wonder Woman. I did reach out to Magic Lasso and gave him the opportunity to first, but I also reached out, but I would also send out the list to people. And when Wonder Woman was claimed, it was when I threw Green Lantern into the mix, I reached out to Tim the Comic Collector. I reached out to Comic Fu. I reached out to the Green Lantern fans that I knew of for sure, and I said, "Here's the show, the base show you want on. Green Lantern's on here. He's all yours if you want him." So, but yeah, so Magic either never replied or didn't reply soon enough to when Wonder Woman was taken. So,
well, if it makes you feel any better, there, Southern Comic Geek, I voted Sinestro.
There you go.
I voted Sinestro.
So yeah,
because I know the true power of fear.
Yeah.
There's your one vote, Southern. So yeah, all right, yeah. Well, I'm a Blue Lantern, so I'm hoping I'd be hoping I'd win.
I'm working on collecting those actual life-size lanterns. I've got a couple now, so I'm trying to get all of them. Blue is one of the harder ones to find for whatever reason.
Nice. Rob just bought a Not Showcase 22 a couple months ago, so very cool.
That is awesome.
All right, so
yeah. Well, I was just going to say, talking about big books, and I guess we're keeping on the DC keys. Tony must be rubbing off on people or something. So I picked up a Batman 121.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
That is epic. I would say my biggest key that I got recently in a Foo box, because there was a conversation about Foo boxes very recently on Southern Comic Geeks channel. I popped in for a few minutes.
Yeah.
This is my, I think I'm on 2 or 3 copies of Shazam #1, first appearance in the DC universe. And I have a graded 9.0 in this copy,
Yeah.
but this
Yeah,
is a
we
very
found-
good candidate for a 9.6 easy.
Oh,
So,
wow.
Yeah.
I'm very happy to get it. So that's my most recent exciting key pickup, even though it
I
is a
saw
duplicate.
I saw the 9.0 on the wall when you flip the camera around.
Oh yeah. I think you can see it. It's one of these. There it is. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a 9.0 right there off to the
So,
side.
I saw that was really cool there. So cool. Yeah, I got my own books coming here. I just bought 8 books. 6 of them were 12 centers and all that. I got some extra cash and all that, so I made another big dent in my chasing amazing goal. So other books that I bought but are not in hand, my total I think that I have left to collect is down to 21 to get a complete ASM haul. So that is 878 books, not including the dot whatever. So I'm that close to getting a full ASM run. So I am that close to my goal.
I have a question for Southern. What is the key you hope to pick up this year? The year's coming down to an end. What are you chasing?
Well, I've already gotten most of my big ones because I wanted to have all of Batman 200 forward. Actually 300 forward. Sorry. So now I'm at 150 forward, and the 121 was another one that I wanted to pick up before the year's end, and wanted to pick up one of the Hulks 1 through 6, so of the original run. So I did pick up a Hulk 1 this year. So
Nice.
I about crossed everything off of the list.
Very cool.
I did pick up this, which you might, if you were in the chat earlier, you seen.
Yeah,
this.
I did see that. That's very cool.
Nice. I recently added that because I'm creating a new list. I have my usual checklist I have here for books, but I don't know what to do exactly. I didn't want to do the same. I don't want to do that for everything else I want to do. So since I'm trying to branch out and all that, I thought, well, I won't mind. Don't mind Daredevil. Don't mind some Hulk books and all that. So what I have here is I'm listing them in alphabetical order by the title of. So and then I'm writing, and then I'm like going through, and I'm thinking keys and covers and all that. So for keys or covers that I want, and so that way I have a list that I can list with me, when I'm there. So that way I'm going, well, there's only 4 books left that I want in my ASM run here. What else do I want to look for? Let me pull out the expand my collection list versus my targeted with pictures list. This, and I have like Hulk number 1, the first appearance on the cover of Red Hulk. It'll say the little description of why I want it, or the key about it, so I know what to look for exactly. And we're just like, well, why did I have this book listed again? Oh yeah, that's why.
Yeah. So Tony, what are you collecting? Are you a run collector or a key collector, or?
A little bit of both. I'm a completionist. That's why I don't really dabble in too many mystery boxes, because like, oh man, I got this issue, whatever,
Red
of
Hulk,
number
Red
50,
Hulk.
so I got to go the whole way back and get the rest of them. So really, I tried to do that just because maybe it's my brain works. But
Yeah,
big issue I'm chasing for the end of the year. I'm looking for a good condition Doorway to Nightmare number 1. First appearance of Madame Xanadu.
Nice.
Because she is, I love magic in the DC realm, and she's all about magic. If you've seen the Swamp Thing TV show, she's also in there. Didn't give her bigger roles. I thought they would. Who knows? Maybe if there was a season 2, she'd play a bigger role. R.I.P. Swamp Thing. But she's, I guess, going to be in the Justice League Dark live action on HBO Max.
Mm-hmm.
So looking forward to that. I don't really spec a whole lot. It's always been on my list, so I figure I got to get it before the price just skyrockets. I'll never get one.
Have you got the first Zatanna and the Hawkman?
I don't have her first appearance. I have her first solo title appearance.
Okay.
Just because that Hawkman issue is it's outrageous. It was outrageous before I even really got into books. So
I only have one book about Zatanna that I know of. It's DC Presents, Superman and Zatanna, and I think is whatever I had. So, but yeah, I don't have very many of Zatanna. I'm not a huge fan of magic users, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is funny since I loved Harry Potter as a kid so much that it shaped who I was. But as far as comic books, magic was always, it's cool, but I like the guy who can fly more.
Yeah. There's all the magic. I got most of the magic keys. But
First Constantine, I'm sure.
That's also on the list.
I saw one the other day for 300.
Yeah, I do have the first solo appearance of the Spectre. I got that on the cheap, and I'm glad I did because it went up way fast when he was going to appear on Arrowverse. So I've got first Blue Devil, first
Deadman.
Deadman, yeah. Man, I don't even remember now, not without looking.
Well, I saw one on Shortbox the other day. It was the first appearance of Constantine, and it was signed by Lynn Wine and Bernie Wrightson.
Oof.
I figured that would be like right in your little wheelhouse.
It would. I would. That'd be something I'd be willing to pay. A little bit extra for, as long as the signatures are verified or whatever.
Yeah, it was slabbed.
Perfect. Count me in. Yeah, that would be something I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, Fu, when he went to Huntsville, and I met him up there at that Comic-Con up there, he picked up the first appearance of Constantine.
Yeah, I know. He immediately rubbed it in my face. So I'm very aware he picked that up. And that's the running gag on our show is I don't have one, and literally everybody else does. Even people who don't necessarily care about magic have it for some reason.
Yeah, the video I dropped recently, the flea market comic haul, whatever. I went up to in Colorado Springs. That there was one of the books on the wall. There was First Constantine there, so it was like one. How much is that by any means? Because of them like it's like 300 of them. Cool book.
I don't know where Comic Fu gets his books, but he managed to find that Walking Dead Negan Lives, like one per store variant. He found one, which is like the gold version, for cover price.
Wow.
People were paying like ridiculous amounts of money and waiting for hours outside their LCS, and he just happens to just casually come across one out in the wild for cover price.
Now they do have some good comic stores in Nashville. So
yeah, him and I, when we met up this summer, we went to one or two. It was a lot of fun. I even got to go into the Foo Cave, and see the Foo Trooper, and hold his Green Lantern book, his holy grail of Green Lantern books in my hand. It was pretty wild.
Nice.
Very cool guy, very great member of the community for sure.
Yeah.
And I know you said you're going to meet up with him soon. So
yeah, next week to pick up all those mystery boxes.
Yeah, definitely. If you get a chance to take the room tour, it's worth it. It's way bigger than what it looks like. It blew my mind how big that place was.
Yeah, something like that is what I want in the future here. I'm looking around my comic room here. I'm going,
oh yeah,
how long till the kid graduates high school again, so I can kick him out, tear down that wall, and double my space?
I can touch both the walls sitting here.
Yeah,
it's pretty narrow. Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, I got 10,000 comics over there in the corner, and or like if I don't know if Rob Worst, but I mean, you've seen his setup.
Yeah.
Jealous.
He's one of my favorite collections, just to watch his videos, just to enjoy the background. It's one of the few channels where I just enjoy looking at whatever he's got in the background.
Rob, stop talking, get out of the way, and let me see the books.
Right.
Yeah. Great. Another great guy in the community for sure.
Yeah. That's just the idea, because I can imagine in the future here, I'm going to have a wall over here. I said I'm going to have a wall over there for the books and things like that. I'm going to have some over here for the pops, things like that. Because I recently put in a couple weeks ago, I put in a little shelf above my closet. Here above the closet where I have the doors and all that, and I have that from like soda pops up there.
You want to talk about signatures and holy grails? Rob has the holy grail of signatures. The holiest of holy grails of signatures.
What does that be?
Way bigger than Stanley ever was.
Heresy.
I think he's. I can't remember if he has a. I think it's a Joe Schuster signature on a Superman like number 7, super low print or super low issue. And every time I see it, I just drool. Like, that's a signature I'll never have.
Yeah, I wanted to get
them my way. I'll hold on to them for you.
Yeah, so like comics would never be comics without those two guys, and he just happens to have one. That's crazy.
Yeah, Joe Schuster.
Joe Schuster, number 7 from 1940,
pre-World War
White.
II. Yeah, first Perry White, pre-World War II. Well, American World War II.
Yeah, that's crazy. But I try to keep my backdrops pretty interesting. That's why I got the multiple camera setup. So I have, I can kind of do a couple different things,
I like that. I like that one. I like that setup there.
This one, normally looks straight down. So if I'm showing off a book, I got full control of everything. Plus I got this cool mat that I can use.
Yeah.
So that's what I try to do.
Definitely fun. Did you draw that yourself?
No, I definitely have absolutely no artistic talent whatsoever.
Well, I used to say the same thing, but then I got decent at painting. So
nope, not me.
Check out what Rob put in the chat.
Yeah, it was given. Him and I would chat about it all the time, and every time he tells me the story, it is
crazy.
Awesome. Yeah,
it's crazy, man.
And it's just like a once in a lifetime, something that people dream about.
I thought trains were supposed to be smart.
Happened to Rob, something that would just put a pretty big, what in my pants, and just.
Damn.
I wish something that cool. I wish something half that cool would happen to me. Yeah, right. You're absolutely right. But let's be honest. I got a pen here.
Yeah, the Elite Comics was selling a early Batman because I've kind of toyed whether do I go all the way because I don't know that I ever complete that run, and I am a completionist. It is a disease.
Yeah. And I got it too, man. I got it bad.
So yeah, that's why I was kind of wanting to like just artificially stop at 150, even though I've got 5, the first Batmobile, I've got 8, that Infinity cover, I got number 10, I've got a lot of the early issues, and I was this close to buying 2 this week, but I don't know. But anyway, it was early Batman, and it had Bob Kane's signature on it, which of the 2 creators, cool. I mean, that would be easier to get, I'm sure, but it would have been a nice one to have.
I'm currently waiting on my books from CBCS. I got Bennett. He's the other guy on the Superman 75. Brett Breeding. There we go. Yeah.
Breeding, yeah.
He signed my Superman 75. So now it's double signed by Dan and him. So I also had him sign my ASM 252 since he was listed in there. And then I gave my son my other copy of Superman 75 first printing that he paid to have signed by him. Mine was a 9.8, that I cracked and submitted, hoping that it'd stay at 9.8, But if it drops a little bit, I will gladly pay that sacrifice to have both those guys sign that book.
Yeah, I think I have both of them signing a 75 for me as well, and a 78.
But
78, yeah. Yeah,
that and some early ASM are being graded. So my goal is to have at least the first 10 books in my collection graded.
Talking about 75, 500. Is it Action or Adventures in Superman 500?
It's just regular Superman.
So the resurrection issue with the white bag. So I got Tom Grummett to sign that. and it
Ooh.
was still in the white bag, and he pulled it up. He said, I thought I had already signed every book that ever came out. He said, I have signed so many of these.
It's funny. I asked Brett Breeding if he signed the Resurrection. Was it 78? I don't remember. The big, colorful, like 3D kind of
About the
variant.
chromium cover?
Chromium cover. That's what it was. Yeah. I asked him the same thing on the chromium cover, and he's like, I'm surprised. He said something very similar, like, I'm surprised there's ones out there without my signature on them.
Yeah, I like to get like books that they haven't seen before. So I've got foreign comics. So I have a whole set of Marvel Graphics novel. I think it's 4. That's the first appearance of the New Mutants, and got Bob McLeod to sign them all. He goes, "Dadgum, where'd you get all these?" That's what I like to hear, as opposed to, oh yeah, and here's a bill. I've signed 1 billion of these.
Wow.
One of the Superman long-term projects that I'm working on, one of many, and I'll show this to you. This is the Superman Gallery. It's all Superman art. And I'm working on getting everyone who has art submitted in here to sign it. Some of these I'll never get because they've, unfortunately they've passed. But here we have some Jerry Ordway, some Tom Gromit down there, Mike Zeck, all kinds of good stuff. I forget who's even in here. Brett Breeding. I know he's in here a couple times, and get him to sign all his pages. Here's a big Jerry Ordway splash page. So this is one of the many Superman projects I'm working on. Trying to think where they are. I probably skipped a couple by accident, but I know right back here at the end, I've got a nice, a little tough to see, but I got a nice Jim Steranko up here,
Nice.
which is pretty cool. So, oh, you didn't silence your phone.
Yeah.
That's going to cost you a quarter, but
yeah, right. But that's
Steranko's is not one I think of DC. I really think of his Shield run, his Cap run, and I guess the 3 issues where he changed the titling for Uncanny X-Men that still stands today.
Yeah,
But
it wouldn't matter if I silenced my phone or not, because my iPhone, my computer picked it up anyway. I could answer.
nice.
That's what was ringing. My laptop, my Chromebook here was literally ringing too. So I was like,
But yeah, I got a lot of long-term projects like that. I think I have. I last I checked, it was a little over 1,000 signatures on 413 books. So
nice.
that's a lot.
Yeah. So when you go to a con, you must do it like I do. When I go to a con, I get the guest list and I start pulling out my CLZ.
Yep.
This is the ones I want. This is the ones I want.
I do it all year long, so it drives my OCD nuts. But and Baltimore this year was a great con, except literally right at the end, a couple of big names I was stoked to get pulled out, so I was unable to get them.
Sucks.
Hopefully next year.
I know. I mean, I understand your viewpoints. I think give them a book they haven't seen before, but I'm like, if I'm going to meet that person, and chances are it'd be who knows how long before I can meet them again. I don't want them to just sign. Oh, you did this book. Thank you for signing it. I want to. I want to increase the value of my book. Like if if COVID hadn't happened, I would have met Jerry Conway and would have had him sign not my 129, but I would have had him be able to sign my 122 that I bought from you and all that. So I would have, because it might have been, oh, you're well known for this? Cool. I wanted to sign and all that. But it's like, I want the value there for my books, even increased in value just a little bit that the signature could represent just by being signed by that person.
Well, the thing with the story that comes behind those kind of weird deals like that, and when you're talking to those creators, they love to tell about it if you're sitting there willing to listen, because they can tell the guy that comes up there with 50 of the same book, they know
it's going straight on eBay, and he doesn't care. Yeah,
they don't care. So Jim Shooter, he's always full of stories, and the stories about how if you're familiar with the Unity crossover in Valiant, The original connecting covers were all done by Frank Miller, and then the next connecting covers were all done by Walt Simonson. So he convinced, Valiant at that time was just a startup company, and he said, Frank, I don't have the money to pay you. And he said, well, pay me. And it was like $250. I mean, it was next to nothing. So when the next set of covers all came around, he said, Frank, I need you to do them again. And Frank said, I'm not doing it. Go ask Walt Simonson. And so he goes to Walt and he says, well, how much did you pay Frank Miller? And he told him, he said, pay me that plus 1 cent. That way I can always say that I made more than Frank Miller.
That's something that I would do. That's funny. I forget there was a very popular person in the comic creator community, a AAA artist or writer that was coming to our local convention. But when Trump was elected president, he decided that he didn't want to go to any states that elected Trump. So I thought that was kind of unfair. So I was in one of those states and I got hosed. Whether you voted for him or not shouldn't matter. Comics are comics.
Right.
So he canceled. He wasn't coming.
I mean, not to dive into politics or anything, but
yeah.
They have people on both sides in every state, so it's not like living in Colorado we're turning bluer by the year, thank goodness. But that doesn't mean I can't go 5 miles that way, trip, and fall into my red family's household. So who I know for a fact every one of them voted for Trump that could. So
yeah, exactly. And what does that have to do with anything? If the person's a fan, I mean, I remember this story. Michael Jordan, who's the first billionaire sports player, right? Mm-hmm. Back when he was still playing basketball, they wanted him to stand up for some kind of rights for black rights, whatever it was. And he said, white people buy my shoes too. And so his point was that he's like, hey, this is business. I'll say my piece, but I'm not going to be a spokesperson out there. I'm just going, I sell my shoes to whoever wants to buy them. And this is the same thing with, that. It's like, why would you not sell your book or get your book to get signed by whoever would want to buy it? I mean, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I agree. I guess it's the society we live in now.
But it's a free world.
It is. They have every right to do it. That's okay if they want to alienate people. But you're right. That's a whole nother episode that we could take up the whole time in the world on. But
because if it was illegal to be stupid, there would be no one living in Washington, D.C.
If it was illegal to be stupid, half the people in the country would be in prison. Most of them agree would be in D.C.
It'd be me, my wife, my in-laws, the only one left alive in my family.
Yeah, I mean that's the deal. Everybody's entitled to their opinion.
Yeah. As they say, as one guy I know, Rob, they can't even vote right. Ever since 2000, Florida can't do elections right worth a damn, it seems. So, all right. Well, we're gonna. My wife's gonna be home soon, and I want to relax and spend time with her now after this. So, thank you guys for hanging around and chatting.
Yep.
Again, thank you, Southern. Thank you, Tony, for joining me.
No problem.
And,
appreciate the invite.
Yeah, no problem. Good problem. And good luck on the next round, Tony, when it comes up.
Bring it on. I can take both of them.
I will reach out to you again when it comes time to start scheduling your next round matchup. So it won't be who knows how long from now. So take care, you guys, and I'll see you guys next time, or see you guys later. Whatever comes first.
There can be a next time. There can be a next time.
Yeah. So sub everyone up. Comment down below what you thought of the matchup. And just, have a good night, everyone. Take care.
Peace.
Happy collecting. All right. Thank you, Tony.